timings. If you're waiting for new releases from companies such as 20th Century Fox, Disney, Marvel and Paramount, you may have to wait longer than expected. The actors' strike isn't showing any signs of ending anytime soon. Some of you are probably wondering why some actors have gone on strike, and it's because they want better pay and working conditions from production companies. Do you think the actors will get better pay from the production companies?
I feel like they will, because eventually the production companies need the actors. That's where the source comes from. That's their job. Like, you can't keep them out of a job and make them easily replaceable. And they just want a firm agreement that they not going to be replaced by any such means necessary when it comes to new technology.
They also are afraid of AI, artificial intelligence, taking over their jobs because they will be able to simulate their voices from just a few recordings, and they can simulate their likeness from just a few photographs. The actors' voices and likeness can be simulated in 1,000 different ways, so much so that the production companies may never need to hire the actors themselves or pay their highest salaries ever again. How do you feel about the impact of AI in the entertainment industry?
The impact of AI has been vastly grown. I feel like it could be used for good and it could be used for bad, and stuff like the strikes is where the bad comes in. It's fine when you come up with ideas and all that stuff, how you map out a blueprint or anything like that. But when it starts to take over people's lives and replace them, that's where it gets a little bit iffy.
What's your opinion on the actor strike?
My opinion on the actor strike is that it's totally valid, it's totally fair. That, of course, you don't want to feel like you're being replaced by a robot, and it's already been starting we're in factories and everything like that. And coming for the entertainment industry like that, it will be a huge blow, essentially.
How do you feel about the multiple projects that have been delayed?
It is, a bit disappointing, because due to this strike, many movies and TV shows have been cancelled and even delayed to the fact of that, and it hurts to see that we'll have to wait longer for it to be developed or be able to see the movies in theaters, which will cause the cinemas to even lose even more profit, because nothing really good is going to be out if the strike keeps continuing.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Just the other week, a negotiation between the major Hollywood studios and actors got called off, meaning that there's going to be a longer wait for some new films or TV shows. Thank you for tuning in. This is Owen Levy from BDC Tech News. Have a good day.
And now over to Reese for the weather. Hi Reese.
Hi Manzima. Hey Manzima, and good afternoon Britain. Prepare for an eventful week. Starting this afternoon, we're in for some sunny weather at a calm 21 degrees, with a tiny rise in temperature with a further 22 degrees from 2 to 5 o'clock. But as we go and settle into the evening, you can expect some clear skies and gentle breezes, so we can all sleep peacefully from 8 into the night. But we can kiss the sun goodbye, because we have a wet week ahead of us, starting on Wednesday with sunny intervals and some moderate breezes from the southwest. Light rain will begin to pick up around 1 in the afternoon, but it will mainly stay at a calm 21 degrees, with the rain following us into Thursday afternoon, with temperatures at chilling 16 degrees. So better wrap up warm. Friday the 13th will be a true nightmare on Elm Street, with gusty winds and continuous showers with moderate breezes for a stubborn 19 degrees. But the weekend's looking bright ahead. Tune in next time for the next week's weather on a sunny, chilly week. Have a good afternoon. Good evening, I'm your host Reese Anton, and welcome to Doing the News Debate Show. I'm here joined with Mason Bruff, who's here to show a movie about strike action presented by Owen Levy. I'm also here joined by Mason and Daniel, and I'm also here joined by Lewis and Abigail, and today we're going to be debating strike action.
Thank you for having me, Reese. So today we're going to be showing a movie made by Owen Levy, and we'll also be showing a news report by Channel 4 about the strikes in California right now, about acting and screenwriting.
Okay, so now we're going to have the debate about strike action. So I'll bring it to the against panel. Mason and Daniel, why are you for strikes?
I believe that strikes are a fundamental human right and it is the backbone in our society. Without strikes, we wouldn't get anything done or have anything be fair.
So speaking up on what Daniel said, my real insight to the problem was from an actor called Aaron Paul. He works he's most known on Breaking Bad. And I watched Breaking Bad on Netflix, as many of you probably have as well. And he recently said that he didn't get any residuals for it being shown on Netflix. And I thought that was like really disrespectful towards the actor, especially because he's one of the main characters in the show. And not having been paid for his work on Netflix, it kind of discredits him from the show. And I feel that is my start for making sure that actors get equal rights and equal pay.
Okay, good, very, 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 very good. Lewis and Abigail, why are you against it? Why are you against strikes?
Well, there's many reasons I'm against strikes, but one of them is the whole fight in it always brings violence. A very good example of this would be the suffragettes, right? Obviously fight for a good cause, but then it all just turned to shit. They got what they wanted for a while, but nowadays 10 years later, people are still, they want more than what they're asking for. It's greed. You should take it in steps at a time. And yeah, there's more reasons, but I'll let Abigail speak.
I'm personally against strikes, as I believe that it does take up, when people are in production or let's say work especially, it does take up a lot of time and time used to, work on other things and produce more things. And that's all I have for now.
But if they didn't strike, then they would never be treated fairly in the workplace. It's part of their rights in the contracts that they signed. They have the legal right to strike, do they not?
Yeah, they've got the legal right to strike, but it don't always mean it's the right thing to do.
But in this case, with the actor strike, it is because they're being treated unfairly.
Yes.
And
in this case, but we're talking about strikes in general.
Sorry. Speaking about what you said with the suffragettes, so this can be applied to what you're saying now as well with the film strike. It still raises awareness, and you may be unaware, but there was two types of the suffragette movement as well.
Oh yeah, there was the hunger strikes and
as you know. So of course that doesn't speak for everything. You're saying that it was all violence. Yeah.
Of course, it's not always violence, but there's still in each case of strikes, there's always something extreme.
Yeah, but you can say that for pretty much everything. I believe what the actors and what you're saying the suffragettes were doing is quite brave, and it's actually standing up for what they they believe in, and obviously they're trying to achieve what they want. Suffragettes obviously equal rights, and the actors, they want equal pay.
Well,
Sorry. Going back to time, as I was saying, would you really say striking would be the best option? Because then again, going back to the actor strike, wouldn't it take at least, I'm not sure, but wouldn't it take time to at least lift their pay if that's the problem? Change the way the act is?
Yeah, so of course, striking is obviously not the best thing to do, but it's for many the last resort. They've tried to be subtle about it. They've tried to speak up, obviously, and I believe in this case for the writing strike, obviously the actors didn't want to have to go to that that length. They didn't really have any choice.
Well, another recent strike that's been going on, which is happening today even, train strikes. So it said that, so they're striking because they want £65,000 a year and a 35-hour week, 4 days a week. However, doing my research, I saw that the average is 64,000, and 65,000 people are getting that. And why strike it do an unnecessary strike when it's going on and your problem's not getting solved. Like,
I think that's basically, you basically explained your point. You said, why is the strike still going on if they're not getting what they want?
it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to speak about that. The whole point is that, like, this, it's just like, it's really frustrating, obviously. I mean, you just got to think about, like, imagine it was you as well. Like, say there was something you really wanted and you've tried to, like, ask about it, and no matter how hard you've, like, tried, they just kept annoying you. Eventually, you get to, like, an extreme length where you're trying to do anything just to get heard and seen. And obviously, we're talking about it now, so it's clearly worked.
Yeah, but what's good? There's different ways to go around it rather than striking, causing other people unnecessary problems when they're not part of the, like, schematic of whatever it is or whatever the word is.
On the topic of the train strikes, we're going to take a quick look at the Channel 4 broadcast about the ongoing train strikes.
There's no one way to Christmas, but no matter how you do it, pay it in full with ClearPay.
Braving the elements this morning, Border Force staff launched a second round of strikes today, calling for a 10% pay rise instead of the 2% the government's offered to weather the cost of living crisis.
We want decent pay! For the last 10 years, a lot of our members have actually had no pay rise whatsoever. Obviously this year, with the cost of living crisis, it's just meant that it's just tipped people over the edge. And people just can no longer meet a basic standard of living.
We've got members who have come to us really struggling to pay their bills, worried about childcare. We're now thinking about setting up a food bank at Gatwick for our members.
1,000 staff have walked out at Heathrow and Gatwick in London, as well as Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff and Glasgow airports, with military personnel and civil servants checking passports instead, and limited disruption as a result. But it's not just airports. Train workers on 2 lines are on strike today and tomorrow, with more planned next month, and driving instructors continue their rolling walkout. Public sector strikes will continue into the new year, with ambulance workers in England and Wales and nurses in England also on strike again in January, rejecting the 4% pay rise they've been offered. Junior doctors, who've been offered 2%, are also being balloted. The British Medical Association says 4 in 10 are actively planning to quit the NHS as soon as they can find another job.
If that comes to fruition, if so many people make their New Year's resolution to leave the NHS, then we'll be in real trouble. Patients will be in real trouble, and those of us left in the NHS will be really struggling to provide the care, to give the patients care that people deserve.
Public sector workers across the country are protesting against real terms pay cuts driven by inflation. But the government is digging in, saying the Prime Minister couldn't allow for double-digit pay rises and that it was up to employers and unions to reach a fair agreement. Inflation, now above 10%, hit a 41-year high in October. The same month public sector pay in real terms hit a 19-year low. Wages down as just about everything else goes up.
And the South Western Ambulance Service has declared a critical incident, saying the trusts...
Okay, I'll bring the question to the floor. Can there always be a positive objective to striking? Lewis, you want to take this one?
Yes. No. There's not always a positive or good. Wait, did you say positive take?
Objective.
Oh, objective. No. Because you can literally make a strike out of anything in the world. Like, because there's always problems in every business, every, like, foundation. You want to speak?
Yeah, so I completely disagree to what you've just said. Because obviously it's a good cause. You're saying it could be about anything, but you have to think more like seriously. Obviously you can do that, but I don't believe people would go to that extent to doing it. Like for instance, in that video we've just seen, people are protesting and striking to try and get like, obviously like the cost of living is really like high, and they're trying to like spread awareness and try to like sort that out. And that's not, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay, it's not a bad thing until you think about how when it comes to the NHS, you saw that it's causing nurses and doctors to like go out in protest. What's that gonna do? Cause more patients to just build up. We're gonna have an all-time high. NHS already in debt. Fucking I'm out. Yeah, NHS already in debt. They're already in need of workers. So if there's more leaving these poor children to wither away, what's gonna happen?
When they strike, it's not all of them at the same time.
Yeah, of course. But they're still missing members.
Yeah, no, of course. But hopefully, what I believe they're trying to aim is by like making that point and trying to like get as many doctors to participate, people will find out like how much of a big problem it is that is causing like a lot of people to like a lot of doctors to having to, like to leave their patients behind. Because it's such a big deal that like it can't go on like it can't go unseen.
What's one thing about this comedy you noticed? Everyone are stubborn. Everyone is stubborn, yeah. So I get they'll carry on with the strikes. They won't stop, but eventually they've got to see that it's causing more problems than solutions.
I'm not really a political person, but when it comes to the pay rise and everything and the cost of living, would it not take years, if not, I don't know, a decade, for everything to like match up again, like for pay to, you know, kind of relate to what we're spending and, you know, things that are being charged?
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely take a long time, but you have to think about what's better for society in Britain as a whole instead of what's better for the individual. I mean, yeah, it will cause a few problems here and now, but you've got to think of the long-term end goal of what's happening.
One significant like strike in history was the Montgomery boycott. It's the bus boycott, and it was basically to stop segregation on buses. So it started off with like quite a few like people taking part. And then eventually, it got to a point where so many people were taking part that bus drivers physically couldn't keep ignoring black people to get off the train and the bus. Sorry, so they actually got forced into doing that. So I'm saying, like, with my point, I believe that even if it takes ages, like decades, as you said, you'll eventually get to the point where it may actually get put into place, and we may actually see changes happen.
So you're saying we should continue with, you know, the cutting of staff within the NHS or within any line of work, because at the end of the day, you know, there will still need to be staff to complete work, and then again, patients that are also in critical condition.
You have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that would happen, and there would be, as I said, problems along the way, but the more people that strike, the more attention that comes to the issue at hand here. So,
but is tension always a good thing?
Yeah, attention is always a good thing, no matter what. If it's bad attention or good attention, it always brings a positive impact, or negative for that matter, but most of the time positive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's all. That's all we got time for today. I've been your host, Reese Antoine. That was Junior News Debate Show, and good night.
Those tickets in there.